everybody, welcome to today's episode of DownStream Outdoors. Today on DownStream Outdoors, we're going to talk about something that not many people think about whenever they go out into the outdoors. We're going to talk about whistles, okay? Whistles have been used throughout history to make signals and such like that because they can achieve a much higher pitch and the sound can travel a lot farther than what we can with our standard mouths. Whistles have been used for a lot of things. For instance, here's one. It's called a boat swan or a bosun. There's the word. Took me a minute. It's either a boat swan or a bosun whistle, whoever you talk to. It was used on ships as a signaling device to tell the crew what needed to be done. Instead of somebody standing there trying to yell, this would do the signaling. Much like the military used to use drums to signal their men to tell them what they needed to do. Something like this out in the wilderness can absolutely be a life-saving device because, like I said, it can actually travel a lot further with the sound than what we can with our voice. Most people these days are going to carry something more like this. This one's my everyday whistle. I carry this one wherever I go in the woods. This is my old coaching whistle. The same thing you see at sporting events yet today. They come plastic, metal, all kinds of different varieties. Good sound producer. Maybe you don't have one with you. Maybe you didn't bring much at all with you. Maybe you brought a pocket knife. Maybe with this pocket knife we could make our own whistle. What I have here, I have a chunk of willow bark, of willow branch. And with this chunk of willow branch, we can actually make our own whistle. All we got to do, we score the willow bark all the way around, about halfway through. Get a nice clean ring on it. You can see I got a nice cut all the way into the wood. Now we're going to take the back end of our knife. We closed up our knife for safety. We're going to take the back end of our knife and we're just going to hammer that bark that's on that stick. Just ever so lightly. We don't want to kill it. We just want to kind of bang it around a little bit. We can set that out to the side. Now we should be able to grab a hold of our bark here, if I did it right, and see our bark come off in one piece. Now what we'll do is we'll slip that back on. We'll find its right spot there so we know everything's lined up right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to carve our mouthpiece. And all we have to do is just cut a nice little notch in the side, something like this. We'll trim that up a little bit, clean that up. Okay, so it looks something like this. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to carve a notch in the top right here. First we're going to go down, just like this, directly opposite of the mouthpiece notch that we just cut. And then we're going to come in at an angle. Cutting a notch all the way down into the wood. You see how we cut that nice notch? Now we can slip our bark back off. We're going to lay that off to the side. Where we cut our notch at, we're going to take and we're going to cut that notch in a little bit more. And what we're actually doing is we're creating a resonating chamber. Okay? You can see we made that notch significantly bigger. Now from here, straight out to the end of the mouthpiece here, okay, from our notch out to the end of the mouthpiece, we're going to take a little bit of this wood right off the top. You can see I'm not taking very much at all, just a little bit of wood. Okay, we're going to clean that up. And what that is that's our wind passageway into the resonator. Now if I did this right, we should be able to slide this bark back on, line it up in its right spot. So there it is. It does work. With just a pocket knife, we made ourselves a nice little whistle, and we can use this as a signaling device. I don't really use it much for a signaling device. This here one generally goes to the kids. The kids love running around. And I always know where they are. So, something for you to think about trying sometime. Like I said, this piece of willow bark that I carved out and I made the whistle out of. There's actually plans that show you the pictures and such. I'll try to find a picture for the plans to put in the show comments. when we post it here on Facebook. So with that, till next time, keep your line wet and out of the trees.